Okay.
Good afternoon. This video, we're going to deal with Bryan Denlinger's video using Rahman Ali as a defense against interracial marriage and how his bizarre reasoning is. Now, he's taking interracial marriage as a perversion, and he says those who are against it, professing Christians. And he makes the argument, well, you people, he says, because the Quran uses the argument, well, Moses had an Ethiopian wife. Yeah, it was legitimate. He acts like somehow that Moses was sinning when he did that. There's no evidence of that. But I'll be doing his videos on interracial marriage. Remember, this guy is projecting the idea that this is what King James Bible teaches, and it doesn't. Now he's running to a Muslim to bolster that idea. And this guy, Muhammad Ali, this is you won't see these things put up on ESPN. You know, they will love Ali. You know, he was a gregarious guy, you know, and they all love him. He's against, you know, the liberals all love him. He was against the Vietnam War and everything. So, this what he's at here, this won't play, you know. So basically, they downplay this. But let's see here. This is the spiel of Bryan Denlinger.
The ACLU assigned volunteer cooperating attorneys Bernard Cohen and Philip J. Hirschkopf. Both of these guys are Jesuit educated. Okay, again, I proved that in other studies.
The issue is the good law or bad law. Bryan wants to deny you the right of association. That's what this is. The right of association. Marrying another person of another race. As a Christian, nothing in the scriptures. And I'll go through his videos. You know, you Denlinger people who defend this garbage. Segregationists. In the United States. Ali's going to talk about he wants a black woman, but he wants an American black woman. He wants an African black woman. So he makes an issue of the nation, the culture, not the race. And he mentions that there. So he want to deal with an African black woman, so that's a racial thing. No, I don't have to be an American black woman. So, and he says, well, the problems. Well, Ali went through a couple of wives, I think, 2 or 3 wives, and he had problems with, you know, adultery. So he had his, you know, the idea of like he had some, you know, he married a black woman and never had a problem after that.
So we're not going to get into all that right there. Bernard Cohen and Philip Hirschkopf. Those are the 2 lawyers that overthrew the laws saying no interracial marriage here in America. Those laws that were put up by Bible-believing Christians to protect our country from falling into sex perversion. Right, but
laws preventing you from marrying another race stops you from going to sex perversion. He's trying to make the leap that because those laws were taken away, that led to sodomite marriages, which is totally fallacious, totally false. One had nothing to do with the other. This law was stopping legitimate marriages, which is not forbidden by the scriptures. Sodomy is an abomination, which the Bible clearly states, and the natural man is supposed to even know, is responsible for knowing that, and does know about that. And so that's what Romans 1 is talking about. So it can't be a legitimate sodomite marriage, basically, because the Bible clearly says that even a natural man knows that sodomy is an abomination. So, you know, Bryan, this is the warped thinking of the King James Video Ministries.
I found something very interesting, because, you know, you're a white racist and all this stuff. I get this put on me all the time.
See, his idea is, those who want to wipe everyone out, he's not a racist. I don't want to kill anybody. I just don't want them to live around me. And if you're a Christian, you meant to marry with another race, you're involved in sex perversion. You're involved in perversion. Because in porn, his idea was, well, you know, they put a porn, they have interracial couples. So clearly it's a perversion. This is warped thinking.
I want to show you the testimony of a black man from right after this whole thing was passed. Ready? Here we go.
People to move in the neighborhoods, but clean your own neighborhoods. And another thing, when you say integration, it comes under intermarriage too, right? All been together. Right, sure. And I'm sure no intelligent white person watching this show, or no intelligent white man in his or her right white mind, want black boys and black girls marrying their white sons and daughters, and in return introducing their grandchildren as half-brown, kinky-haired black people.
I wouldn't object to that.
Well, you wouldn't, but a lot of them would.
In fact, he's got white blood in him, Ali. He's not pure black. He got Caucasian blood because I think he came from, his background was, his family came from out of slavery. So I think a white man was involved in somewhere in that line.
What I'm trying to say is this. You don't have it. You say you don't. You don't have it. You really ain't gonna have it. You don't show it. You gotta say that.
He just told him, Muhammad Ali just told this white reporter, he said, "You're on the show, you got to say that." Yeah, he pointed out the fact that the guy's being told what to say. He wouldn't have his job as a reporter if, I think it was BBC here way back when, and he wouldn't have his job as a reporter if he was against integration. He's absolutely right. Watch the reaction of the reporter. It's funny.
That's not true.
Why would you want to do that?
Because I don't think I'm any different from you, you see.
Yeah, we much different.
I mean, I think society's made us different.
You know we're different. We all together.
Society's made us different.
No, not society. God made us different.
No, we're just human beings. He made all of us.
We all, listen, bluebirds fly with bluebirds, red birds on be red birds. Listen, tell me what.
Notice he's comparing people and animals. And the guy points out, he says, we're intelligent. Plus the fact what Bryan is doing is when you put the issue of Christianity. This is evolutionary viewpoint. That's what this white supremacy, black supremacy, separation. It's all based on evolution. It's all based on evolution. That's what the Nazis came from out. It's not based on Christianity.
I'm wrong. Pigeons want to be with pigeons. Tell me when I'm wrong. They don't have intelligence, but yet they stay together. We should have more intelligence than them, right? Buzzards are with buzzards. Buzzards are with buzzards. Bluebirds are with bluebirds. They all are birds, but they got different cultures. The eagles like to hang out in the...
Now it's from a culture. Now it's shifted from race to culture. Listen to this.
Mountains. The buzzard like to fly around the desert. Well, the bluebird like to fly around the trees and the grass.
There'd be problems a buzzard mating with a sparrow, wouldn't there?
What?
There'd be certain...
Right. And we have the problems too.
No,
I don't see no black and white couples in England or America walking around proud holding their children.
That's because society...
And going out.
Of course they do. They're not ashamed of the fact that the black and white can have black and white children. It's a ludicrous statement.
That's society's fault. I mean, we've got to educate people around it.
Well, life is too short for me to be catching hell for something like that. I'd rather go and do my own. I have a beautiful daughter, beautiful wife. They look like me. We're all happy, and I don't have no trouble. I have no trouble. I ain't that much in love with no woman to go through all that hell. Ain't no one woman that good. You understand?
I understand. Yeah, I do understand. I understand. I think it's sad that
it ain't sad because I want my child to look like me. Every intelligent person wants his child to look like him. I'm sad because I want to blot out my race and lose my beautiful identity. Chinese love Chinese. They love the little slanted-eyed, pretty brown-skinned babies. Pakistanis love their culture. Jewish people love their culture. A lot of Catholics, they want to marry number Catholics. They want the religion to stay the same. Who want to spot up yourself and kill your race?
He's shifting concepts. It's gone from race to culture to religion.
Hate of your people if you don't want to stay who you are. You shame what God made you. God didn't make no mistake when He made us all like we were.
I think that's a philosophy of despair.
Despair.
I really do.
There ain't no despair.
Number
one, can't no woman. I want to tell you. Listen, no woman on this whole earth, not even a black woman in Muslim countries, can please me and cook for me and socialize and talk to me like my American black woman.
Okay. He doesn't want. He's a Muslim, but he won't go to a Muslim or find a woman in a black Muslim country, like Africa an area. He wants an American Muslim. He wants an American Muslim. So the issue there isn't the race. The issue there is the culture and the religion.
No woman, at last is a white woman, can really identify with me and my feelings and the way I act and the way I talk. And you can't take no Chinese man and give him no Puerto Rican woman and holler about we're in love and you emotionally in love and physically, but really they're not happy because she's going to hear some Puerto Rican music, he's going to hear some Chinese music.
As Christians, that would be irrelevant. Because Christians, everything revolves around God. And you'd adapt your backgrounds to that. Remember, this guy went through multiple marriages. So this idea, I'm going to be so happy with a black American woman. He's cheating on his wife. Cheating on his wives. I don't know, he went through at least 2 or 3. So the issue is that, you know, the idea of a background. He went through all that. That's all culture. He went through race. He went through culture. He went through religion. It's irrelevant to the Christian. Irrelevant.
And they're going to be clashing all the time. It's just nature. You can do what you want, but it's nature to want to be with your own. I want to be with my own. I love
nature. A Christian want to be with Christians. That's the issue. Being with other Christians.
That's all. I hate.
Okay, here's the next one.
Any white woman in this audience today, any white man in this audience today, in their right mind, don't want little black boys and little black girls coming around your home, schools, and churches looking to marry your sons and daughters, and in return introducing your grandchildren as little half-brown, kinky-haired Negro children. No intelligent black man in this audience, no intelligent black woman in this audience want little white boys and little white girls coming to marry their sons and daughters, and in return introducing your grandchildren as little half-white, green-eyed, blonde-haired Negroes. We're not seeking to lose our identity in blood mixing and our beautiful black African history. We don't hate you. We don't hate those of you who are white. We just want to stay black. We love my color. I just love myself.
I just love myself. That's what Bryan's teaching. That's not Christian. Bryan, you should see a picture of Bryan right here. You can stop at 6:13. I recommend you watch this. Well, this guy's walking around talking about he's a King James video ministry and King James Bible. This is what they believe.
How about that?
How about that? Well, for what? He's an unsaved man talking about his culture. He wants to stay in his culture. He wants to stay in his religion. He wants to stay in his race. Nothing to do with Christian.
You say, well, that's because Muhammad Ali was a Muslim. Say Muhammad, he was Muslim. Well, then type in Islam on interracial marriage.
He was part of a Muslim cult. He was part of the black Muslims.
I find it interesting. The very first one here, Islam.stackexchange.com, says Moses' wife was another race, blah, 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 like a lot of you do.
Yeah. I look pretty interested to he used to argue, it doesn't go through other. I'm going to go through his videos on interracial marriage and show what this guy is. And everybody preaches it. It's not scriptural. It's all flesh.
Muslims use the same arguments as some of you out there. It's perfect.
He just used a Muslim to defend his views on interracial marriage. Get that. Now he's saying Muslims are using the same arguments we are. At 6:40 in, this is how nutty this guy is. He just pointed out, he just brought up a thing on Muhammad Ali as a Muslim who went against interracial marriage. He was part of the black Muslims. And he brings up a thing where Muslims defend interracial marriage based on Moses marrying Ethiopia. He says, Muslims are using the same argument you are. We're using the same argument Ali is.
Professing Christians.
Professing Christians.
Goes into the thing. Basically, I was looking down through some of these. And it's basically just saying that.
So what is he looking at Islam for? Why would Christians care what Islam says about anything? This guy says I'm not going to use any words outside the King James Bible. He's looking to Islam to talk about interracial marriage.
There's nothing wrong with interracial marriage as long as they're both Muslim. There's nothing in Islam that discourages interracial marriage as long as the two participants are Muslim. The Prophet himself married women of other races, and he did. Muslim was a pervert. Okay?
And so did Solomon. So what? And Solomon was a pervert too. Became an idol worshiper. What does that have to do with anything? The problem wasn't the races. The problem was how many marriages they had. And of course, with the issue of Muhammad was the ages. He wasn't marrying women. He was marrying girls, little girls.
So again, just another little testimony there to those of you out there that think that I'm somehow a racist and a bigot, things like that.
How is going to Islam going to prove he's not a bigot? According to biblical standards, scriptural standards.
And I'm not saying this is Muhammad Ali, some great man now or something like that. Not at all. He was a wicked man, but he had enough sense to realize that this law that was overthrown was wrong.
Why? He had much sense to know that law. Why do you need the law to keep people from marrying? I mean, people want, according to Muhammad Ali, people want to be with their own. Then why you need a law to stop them from doing it? Obviously, there are some people who don't want to be and have no problem intermarrying other races. He said, I don't want, in other words, you don't like the fact that your daughter might marry a white guy. What's between the daughter and the white guy? See, that's what that's about. Because you don't want to be a white guy doesn't mean your daughter might not want to marry a white guy. They want to control the other people's lives.
He brought these videos out after, or he spoke like, spoke out publicly against this whole movement after the anti-miscegenation laws were overthrown. So.
Yeah, so that do anything. He's a Muslim and a black Muslim who's for segregation, just like Eric John Phillips is for segregation for the whites. That's what the cult, that little cult that they had, the black Muslims, wasn't mainstream Islam. Just like this guy is not true Christianity. He's not a King James Bible believer. He's a phony. And then he brings up Islam thinks is you guys are following the Muslim argument. Well, you just put up a Muslim to defend your argument.
I thought that was interesting.
He thought that was interesting. So we'll put that up. And there's Bryan Denlinger. You people thumbing me down. Come and defend this nonsense. You have his videos. Come and defend it. I'm going to go through his videos on interracial marriage. You got hours, then you got another one on answering questions. There's not one passage in the Bible that forbids interracial marriage among saved people. The problem the Jews had was the men were marrying women who were not saved, and they were going along for their idols, such as the Moabite women, throwing them out, throwing them away. So Bryan says, well, when things show up with their interracial, then you just look for exceptions. Moses sinned. Well, I didn't see Moses getting judged. I saw his sister getting judged for yapping about it, like Bryan would have done. He'd been back there. You're interracial married. If you don't know the issue is their believer. Always been the issue spiritual, never racial, never racial. But we'll go over it. See what you clowns have to do out there following Denlinger now that he's getting comfortable back in Maine, not worried about the rapture anymore. I can talk about, hey, we just settled down. Could be, since we don't sure what that word generation means, it could happen a lot longer than we think it is. Telling you a long time, the con. The guy's been conning you people. Now he's just kind of easing his way out. Hey, hoping to keep, once in a while, he keeps DVDs put out, I guess, get some keep money coming in, money coming in, people sending him money. He thinks learning the names of rocks and birds and trees is giving glory to God. He said that in the last video. Give glory to God by learning the names of all the rocks. That's what he's gonna do. He's gonna be on 160 acres walking around. What's that rock? Glory to God. We'll stop here. Amen. Thank you.